Welcome back for the first show of the spring semester. I'm Colin.
I'm Ben.
I'm Griffin.
And we're going to start off with professional sports, starting with the World Baseball Classic that we had last night. We saw USA defeat the Dominican. Some thoughts on that, and maybe Italy versus Venezuela. What do you think of that one?
Yeah, good game, honestly. 2-1 win for the U.S. I was a bit interested to see how Skeens would do versus the Dominican. I saw a stat, he was like 4 for 34 against the Dominican versus them in his MLB career. But obviously, when you're facing them back to back to back, it can be a lot more difficult. He let up one run, homer, the second, I'm pretty sure.
Something like
and then Gunnar Henderson and Roman Anthony kind of took it back.
Bang, young boys.
Yeah.
I mean, always love to see USA kind of dominating the world of sports. You know, we've seen it. Hockey. I think hockey one more time. And, you know, I mean, it's really nice to see. It's always good to see these kind of groups of, like, the best come together and you just show their power. I mean, with the DR, you have arguably one of the greatest lineups of hitters, like, the league's ever seen. And then with the USA, Paul friggin' Skeens and then Aaron Judge and Roman Anthony, you know.
I think 8 of the 9 players for the DR had MVP votes last year.
Unbelievable.
So, pretty crazy.
Pretty good lineup.
Very good
Unbelievable.
lineup.
And USA will find out who they're facing after the game tonight.
Yep.
Italy beat them the first time around.
They did.
Venezuela's got a really good lineup as well, so looking forward to it. I don't know if you guys have any thoughts on the game.
Yeah, Italy has been very unexpected to me, I feel.
I agree with that.
You kind of feel like you have the Puerto Rico, Dominican, Venezuela are always going to be very good, obviously the U.S. And then Italy, you kind of hadn't really heard about. Vinny Pasquino, or however you say it, Vascantino, he's been a shock. He's been playing very, very well. And I don't know, Ronald Acuna homered first game in the quarterfinals, I think, first pitch or first at bat.
He was eating sushi.
Versus Japan. I mean, you would have think Japan would have been back to defend their title, but Venezuela knocked him out. So I'd be shocked to see if Venezuela loses.
Yeah, no, I was pretty surprised Japan isn't back up top with us.
Yeah.
I was really kind of excited to see more from them, but I was looking at the roster and I didn't really recognize too many names. Not as many American-borns as last year. Actually, I don't think there were any. But I mean, it's how the cookie crumbles. But I think Italy, it'll be interesting to see because like you were saying, underdogs, I think, all the way.
Yeah, 100%.
See my guy Willie Abreu hit an absolute bomb to get them to the win. Was great.
Yep.
But yeah, I think Italy's been a shock. I think Venezuela will pull it off tonight, and it'll be Venezuela versus U.S. in the final, and hopefully the U.S. wins.
Amen.
Yeah. Yep.
Now we're going to shift to NFL. We just had NFL free agency, a bunch of new signings. I'm going to go through 5 teams and 2 other signings that I believe will have a big impact on the season. We're going to start off with the Titans. Yeah. 2 big signings, Wan'Dale Robinson, and they say Alontae Taylor was a pretty big one as well with the secondary, and they have new coaching staff, so looks like they're ready to improve this season.
Yeah, I would, if we're going to grade these on like a scale of A to F, I'd give them a solid B, B-. I feel like they did all they can, but then again, it's the Titans.
Yep.
You're really going to have to see how that coaching staff like changes the culture, because I fully believe in Cam Ward, but I just don't know if it's going to be enough, especially if you have Wan'Dale Robinson as your wide receiver 1. You paid him a good amount of money. You paid him like north of $15 million a year. Wow. It's going to be very, very tough to get the rebuild going.
Yeah. I mean, the Titans are rebranding with their new logo, new uniforms, which look, I really like them. I think they're cool. I think the addition in the secondary and with Wan'Dale Robinson, I mean, they really couldn't go anywhere but up. So, I mean, I don't know. They didn't really have many pieces to play with.
Yeah.
They were dealt a 2 and a 7.
Another random thing is they released Ladarius Sneed, which I find is interesting considering you're trying to revamp that secondary, and Ladarius Sneed is probably one of the best corners in the league, I'd say, and you just give him up. Like, I feel like if you're trying to get that rebuild, I mean, he's not even that old. I think he's like 26.
Yeah, something like that.
I mean, like, I feel like that's a mistake.
Yeah.
I thought it was time to move on.
Yeah, I guess so.
Weird.
But shifting our next team, who I believe is probably the winners of the offseason, the Raiders. They signed Tyler Linderbaum, Quay Walker, Nakobe Dean. I guess you could say they traded 2 firsts for Max Crosby.
But then they got him back. So
that whole thing.
So their team is looking pretty good. They signed about every position they could get, every player they could.
Yep.
3 people in probably 3 minutes. I mean, what do you think about that?
And then they have the first overall pick where they're going to get Fernando.
My boy.
So I think Mendoza will basically redefine this entire team. I think I think Brady is really helping this ownership.
Yeah.
And they're fully going in to Fernando. I fully believe that they believe in him. People earlier in the year thought this was going to be a very weak quarterback class, and then the kind of emergence of Fernando as that top dog in this draft class really helped out the Raiders. And the weird thing with the Ravens and the Raiders to get this Max Crosby trade, Max Crosby fails his physical, so he's back with the Raiders now. I honestly think that helps them a bit. I don't know what you're going to do with that first-round pick to get.
I don't know why they would let him walk, anyways.
Yeah, I think he requested a trade, but then he's going to. I mean, he's going to help your defense out so much because the fact that you have a guy that you need at least 2 O-linemen to focus in on is very good for other guys who want to rush the passer as well. Yeah. And I think it's going to take a lot more pressure off of the rest of the D-line and some of the linebackers because you're going to have the quarterback also focused on Max Crosby a bit more. You're always going to have the back of your mind. You're like, crap, where's Max Crosby? Is he behind me?
He's hungry.
I think Tyler Linderbaum as well will really help shape that O-line. He's easily one of the best centers in the free agency. I think he's probably a top 2 center in the league, him and Creed Humphrey, I think. Yeah. Maybe Frank Ragnow as well.
Something like that.
But I think the Raiders did very, very well. I'm very impressed with their offseason.
I think having such a high IQ person in general, like Mendoza, under ownership of Brady, watching him kind of find his feet broadcasting and be able to transfer his just immense knowledge of the game, onto camera into the young people. It's really fun to watch and really fun to see. And I think this is kind of what Vegas sports needs as they're slowly acquiring teams and just to kind of boost everything. Because the A's are a mess. The Raiders are a mess. Kind of.
Maybe getting a new NBA
maybe something new. I think they'll be. I don't know. I think they'll be pretty decent enough.
Yeah, and especially in a year where the AFC West is going to be kind of interesting next year.
Yeah.
With Mahomes tearing his ACL. You're going to be very interested to see when he comes back.
Yeah.
So the fact you don't have the Chiefs as that juggernaut, Broncos and Chargers have been very good.
Oh yeah.
But they're not
elite.
They're not elite. I feel like there's a chance that the Raiders, I don't say they make the playoffs at all, but I feel like they make a very big stride in than what people think they will.
Yeah.
If they win 5-6 games, I think that's going to be a very good season.
I think Broncos are going to win that division again, and I could see the Raiders beating the other teams because I really don't think the Chiefs are going to have it put together. Kelsey's on his last limbs. They just signed Justin Fields.
Yeah.
Who, that could be such a coin. That could be such a coin flip. I don't know. I gotta call my family, see what they think about that one. I don't know. And then they just signed K9 after Super Bowl MVP. That's nuts. He's there now. So I don't know.
Interesting.
Raiders improved. They're ready to go. Another team I think very much improved under a young quarterback is the Commanders. They signed Rashad White, Chig Okonkwo. They got 2 pass rushers. One of my team, Kayvon Chason of the Patriots, who they also had a good offseason, but eventually when they trade for A.J. Brown, we'll talk about that.
Yep.
And then Odafe Owa was another one of their big signings, but they put a ton of money towards him, so he really needs to pay off.
Yeah, I feel like that was a interesting move because, Jane Daniels coming back from year 2, now year 3. It's going to be interesting to see if he's really going to take that elite step he took his rookie year.
Yeah.
Because his rookie year, he was a top 5 quarterback in the NFC.
And he was strong last year until his team got bogged down by.
And then, it's going to be interesting. I like Odafe Owe. They did pay a lot of money for him. Chig Okonkwo, I think, is one of the most underrated signings this free agency. I really, really liked him out of Tennessee. He was probably the best player on that Tennessee offense. And it's not that difficult to do.
No.
But boy, Tony P.
Tony Pollard was not that good.
Please. That was a mid-season waiver drop. Cancel that claim.
But Chig was very good, and the fact that the Commanders got him, get rid of Zach Ertz, it's about time for you to retire. So I think that's a very good signing.
Yeah, I really wish Ertz retired last year. He was a go-to fantasy guy, and hurt to see him end his season, probably his career, how he did. But yeah, I think the Commanders are going to be decently strong. I think they have been. I'm a big fan of Jane Daniels, and I'm excited to see kind of what that team, especially under newer ownership and more rebranding and whatever. I'm excited to see what they can pull together.
Yeah.
All right, we go to the final team. It's going to be the Panthers, just a Carolina theme, and I know this guy will want to talk about him. We got Rasheed Walker, underrated signing, a year. Jalen Phillips, another one of those overpays that really is going to have to pay off for them. And then Devin Lloyd, they stole at about $15 million a year.
Yeah. As a Panthers fan, I could not be more excited about this offseason. Made the playoffs for the first time in a decade, which I predicted in October, by the way. I'm just going to point that out. And I feel like the Rasheed Walker signing, it kind of went under the radar because it wasn't like a day one or day two signing. It was like 4 days ago. It was very underrated. I love him. Icky, left tackle for the Panthers. He's been dealing with injuries. We drafted him like 9th, I think, in 2023. And I think he's just hasn't gotten to where he needs to be yet. Very injury prone, especially in his ankles. I think he's had 2 ankle injuries in the NFL currently. So I love that signing. Devin Lloyd, man, that was probably the best. I have a couple of friends who are Cowboys fans, and they really wanted Devin Lloyd. And as soon as the Panthers got him, I was ecstatic. That was probably the best signing Dan Morgan could have had. Dan Morgan's had a great offseason. We now have, I think we have the 19th pick in the draft. I would really love Kenyon Sadiq from Oregon, the tight end. I think that'd be the best draft pick we could have. And then Jalen Phillips, he doesn't like him because of it's an overpay. $30 million a year, 4-year, $120 million deal. But I think we got a steal with Devin Lloyd, 3 years, $45 million, so $15 a year. I think if you average that out, I'm very okay with that signing. Jalen Phillips was...
The math checks out.
Yeah, I mean, I think Devin Lloyd probably should have gotten the Jalen Phillips contract, and Jalen Phillips probably should have gotten the Devin Lloyd contract.
Yeah,
But Jalen Phillips is 26. He has had some injury concerns, but he was a top 5 pass rusher with hurries, which is probably the biggest edge rusher stat. I mean, over sacks, hurries, and pressures is very big with like advanced statistics and stuff. And he was top 5 in that. He was 2nd in PFF grade for an edge rusher. I think he's a very, very underrated signing, and people kind of think he's getting $30 million a year. But I think if he doesn't get injured, it's going to be very, very worth it.
Yeah. I mean, I think if they don't get injured, it'll be worth it. I think that's pretty standard. But yeah, I mean, the Panthers, I feel like towards the end of the season, I really enjoyed watching them. I made a trade for Tet. I was watching him all season, kind of do his due, and watching him grow and Rico grow and Bryce Young kind of start to figure something out. It was really cool to see.
Carolina Reaper.
Yeah, well, something like that.
The nickname.
But yeah, I think this offseason we're going to see a lot more still. Mike Evans to the Niners was kind of wild.
Helps out that division a lot.
Yeah, it really does. I think with Pearsall and Juwan Jennings, I think that'll be a something offense to watch.
The substation gets him.
Yeah. No, I have written down he just needs to stay healthy.
Yep.
I've seen a lot of people say he could, like, there's very high potential for like his career season, which I think is fine. I don't know. I think he'll be good enough. Yeah,
fully agree.
Right. And then to finish off the free agency slate, Kyler to the Vikings and Malik Willis to the Dolphins. Just want to hear quick takes about, do you think this will improve the teams or not?
I don't know. I think the Malik Willis thing, he went to Arizona, I'm pretty sure. And, like, you're basically
To the Dolphins.
Oh, he went to the Dolphins, not Arizona. I was thinking about Kyler to the Vikings. But to the Dolphins, you replace Tua with a right-handed Tua, in my opinion.
That's fair.
I think Malik Willis is a bit more mobile, but he very much benefited from being the only quarterback available. And the fact that he got that much from the Dolphins, I find crazy.
Shocking.
Like, he's been a backup quarterback his entire career. And he had, like, 2 good games when Love got hurt, and now his
good.
Yeah, I mean, his free agency stock went through the roof.
Yeah,
and then Kyler to the Vikings, I really like, because J.J. McCarthy is not a good quarterback.
No, he's not.
9 does not deserve to be a starting quarterback.
No, he does not.
And the Vikings get a steal. Kyler signs for like $1.2 million because the Cardinals are paying $38 million to him.
Yeah.
And so I feel like that's really going to help Kyler get out of that shadow and that trash can that is Arizona. Because Arizona is not a good team, not a well-run organization.
Yeah.
And I feel like Kyler can very much help his trajectory of his career, just like Sam Darnold did 2 years ago with the Vikings.
Yeah.
Kevin O'Connell is a quarterback whisperer, and I fully agree that Kyler could make some noise in the NFC North.
Yeah, I've been pondering this Kyler thing a lot because I mean, from the socials, I don't think he and JJ are going to get along. I think Nine really wants that spotlight, and he really, really does not deserve it. But also, I mean, the way Kyler's been not just playing, but kind of acting, you know? I mean, the very obvious trending in every Call of Duty update, you know, where he's either hurt or he plays like Josh Dobbs with a fractured arm. I mean, I don't know, that didn't happen. That was just something. But, like, I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of Kyler. I don't think he has the mental game he needs to be in the league. But also, that's coming off a guy who is, you know, I'm a Brady guy. So, the mental stuff.
Kyler has the talent. He's a #1 overall pick, Heisman winner.
He's fast. I'll give him that.
Yeah,
I was going to say, with the Malik Willis situation, I think the best job you could have is a Packers backup quarterback. You're probably going to fare pretty well, and I think he was very system, and I'm happy the Dolphins paid him that much money.
Good for him.
With Kyler, me and my friends back then said if Kyler was to go to the Vikings, they would become one of the best teams in the NFL.
I would agree.
And a lot better than people are going to expect. So
I mean, the Vikings won.
I guess we'll see how it goes.
The Vikings won 9 games last year.
Yeah, I didn't think they were bad by any means.
If you look at the Vikings season last year, just from media headlines and not even looking at the record, you would think they won like 5 or 6.
Yeah.
And they won 9.
Yeah.
They are very good defensively. Obviously, Justin Jefferson,
Yeah.
T.J. Hawkinson, Jordan Addison. That's a great receiving core.
I agree.
Franchise.
What?
It's a good franchise.
It is.
It is.
And
I think
Kevin O'Connell's a
Vikings
great
are very
coach.
pretty stable in where they are, and I think I really think Kyler can only go up from here.
I agree.
I mean, he had very little support in Arizona. There were just a lot of trading and ins and outs of his core and his backfield and whatever. But I think, Kevin O'Connell knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to head to break, and we're going to talk about March Madness after that.
Welcome back to Around the Acorn. We're going to talk about some March Madness right now. Recently, one of Alabama's guys, he was just arrested this morning. Mizzou, low seed, but they have a home game. A lot to talk about. I know you guys are very, very passionate about college basketball, so I'm excited to see where you guys kind of take off. Colin, what's your Final Four?
My Final Four, at the moment, I got Duke coming out of the East. I got Houston coming out of the South. Arizona coming out of the West. And then finally Michigan coming out of the Midwest. It's going to see a lot of chalk this year. I think the 1 seeds are, once again, really, really good. And it's hard to find those red flags you see in teams. I think Florida would be the only one that I could definitely see losing earlier than I would expect after watching them this whole season. I think Houston, just the fact that they're going to get the opportunity to play them in Houston if Florida were to advance, and them as well. I think that's one of the big ones that I believe could possibly happen. And if we're going to talk about champion, I'm between a couple teams, but Arizona is who I'm leaning towards right now. I think there's a world that I end up switching to Michigan or something like that, but I think the right side of the bracket is where you're going to find the champion.
Yeah, I would agree. So my Final Four is Duke coming out of the East, Arizona out of the West. I have Houston coming out of the South. Houston or Illinois, actually. I'm still very in between. Whichever team comes out of the bottom of that bracket in the Elite Eight, I feel like will make it to the Final Four. I don't feel like Florida's going to make it. And then my champion coming out of the Midwest is Iowa State. I think Iowa State probably has the best three-point shooting team in the country. If they are hitting, forget it. Like, their defense is too strong as well. Yeah. I feel like it's – and going on along with a bunch of trends, KenPom ratings and all that, advanced metrics, Iowa State is one of those teams. And shout out the trapezoid of excellence, Ryan Hammer. They have Iowa State right in the middle of that, and there's only 5 teams in that who can realistically win a championship. And so I feel like Iowa State is the pretty good pick there.
All right. What about any big upsets? I know that's been talked about a lot, kind of around the gram, around Twitter. What do you guys have to feel about that?
I've been looking at, I know everyone loves the 12 seed matchups. I've looked at them a couple of times. I don't really like any of them, to be honest. Akron is the one that's been most talked about, but I also love Texas Tech, and their guard play is awesome. That's kind of what wins you in March. When I look at the 13 line, that's where I see maybe a little bit more favorable. Nebraska's never won a game in the tournament, and Troy has played toe-to-toe. They've beaten San Diego State. They almost beat USC. They have these wins on the resumes that a lot of these lower seeds don't have. I liked watching Hawaii in the championship last week, but they ended up catching Darius Acuff, who might be one of the best players I've ever watched. He hits about every shot he takes. And then the other one I find a lot of value in is Hofstra, but I always undervalue Alabama. And I know Cruz Davis is really good and all, but he is about the only good player on that team. And I could definitely see them making their way into the second round. 14 through 16, I'm not seeing much. If Penn wants to win with TJ Power, who just dropped 44 in the Ivy League championship,
Unbelievable.
I guess that's your best option.
Yeah.
And I think for 11 seeds, which are all the ones you want to look at, I think a first four in team could definitely pull it off. I think I'm looking at BYU as a more vulnerable team. And then VCU and South Florida definitely both have that opportunity. And when you're looking at the 8-9 lines, that's where it's kind of a coin flip, but I'll lean a lot towards the 9s this year.
I don't really consider 8-9s upsets that much anymore because, you're looking at this, Utah State is, in my opinion, way better than Villanova. Iowa-Clemson is going to be the race to 50. Whoever scores 50 first is going to win that game, but I like the person with the better guard. Bennett Sturts from Iowa is disgusting. He played very well in the tournament last year at Drake. So I would take most of the 9s. St. Louis over Georgia as well. I'm taking 3 9s this year, and then Ohio State's my 8. But in terms of upsets, Colin talked about it. I really like Hofstra beating Bama. I'm one of those people like Colin to always undervalue Bama, especially with Aiden Holloway getting arrested. We don't know if he's going to play in the tournament based on a marijuana charge, which is kind of light, so people are saying he might come back. But also TJ Power, there's always a white guy in March who can shoot, who goes crazy in March Madness. That's just like a tradition at this point.
I'm taking that. I'm taking Robbie Avila.
So, I think the only 14-3 upset could be Penn. I don't really like a lot of the 11s this year. I think South Florida probably got the best draw with Louisville. They play very, very similar. They both shoot the lights out. If they can hit from 3, they both shoot a ton of 3s. There's been a first 4 team to win 2 games in March, the past 7 years. So I think the team I really like is SMU to beat Miami of Ohio. I don't think they're that good. I'm glad they made the tournament, but they're not that good. And I have them beating Tennessee because Tennessee's very flawed. And if Boopie Miller, always the saying in March is if you have an elite guard, you're going to go far. And I feel like a lot of these teams have elite guards, which is why I'm interested to see if Arkansas can make a run to the Final Four. Arizona-Arkansas is probably going to be one of the best games in the tournament if they both make it there. So.
Word. I'll take note of that.
I was going to add on with your Miami, Ohio take. I said coming into the tournament, they needed to play a team that plays similar to them and fast pace, and that's how Miami, Ohio thrives, and they got one of those teams. So I'm going to say they win on Wednesday night. I don't know if they'll win that first round matchup, but I'm going to say they win on Wednesday night against SMU because nobody's going to take them, but I know people will probably enjoy maybe a Cinderella story this year, see if maybe make some magic. But other than that, I'm not seeing many other upsets. I think, talking about Arkansas, I think Wisconsin is probably the worst 5 seed they could have drawn.
Yeah, I fully agree. And also, I just want to point out that the East is probably one of the biggest brand brackets I think I've ever seen. Duke is the #1 overall seed, got totally shafted. I'm a UNC guy. I hate Duke. But, I mean, I fully agree that they got absolutely shafted. They have to play Ohio State or TCU in the second round. Both of those teams can give Duke problems. I don't think Duke is going to lose until the Final Four championship. But, I mean, you have St. John's, who should not be a 5 seed in my opinion. They should be a 4 or 3 very easily, especially after winning the Big East championship. You have Kansas, who has Darren Peterson. If he doesn't sub himself out of games, he'll be pretty good in March. Louisville can shoot the lights out versus anyone. I mean, they could beat anyone in the country. If Michael Brown is playing, he's probably one of the best deep shot. He's like a Curry on steroids sometimes.
High praise.
I mean, yes. I mean, he will shoot from half court and just drain it half the time. Like, he shoots like 12 threes a game, and it's absurd. And then at the very bottom, that 2 seed and 3 seed is UConn and Michigan State. Michigan State gives Duke a lot of problems in March. So we'll see what happens. And I feel like UConn is a very weird team. They've shown praise of being very, very good, but they also lost to St. John's twice. And coming off of that loss in the Big East championship game, I don't know how they're going to respond. If they can make it to the Elite Eight, that game versus Duke will be very interesting. But it's just going to be very.
Well, if they're playing Duke, you know.
Yeah, you never know. It's March. Yeah. But that East bracket is very, very difficult to predict, and this is going to be one of the best quadrants I think I've ever seen in March. So.
Well, I'm real excited to watch some basketball over spring break. I think it'll be a real good time. A lot of great games to be played. We're going to cut to break. We'll be back soon.
Welcome back to the Around the Acorn. And hoop season just finished here at Elon with both of our basketball teams falling in their conference tournaments. So now we look on to spring sports, baseball, softball, lacrosse. What have you guys seen?
Start off, Elon men's baseball, as they had a big win against number 10 NC State. That's huge for them. And then the big day, the double no-hitter, Anna Dew from the softball team. And from the Elon men's team, we had Stiglitz, Diana, and Latkowski each pitch and throw no-hitter. And they made, I mean, I saw there's an MLB.com article on them.
There's ESPN headlines.
And Washington Post, I think.
Yeah. Big day for Elon sports. And then the lacrosse season, I know they've played, them and softball both played gauntlet of a schedule. May not look the best right now, but they're battle-tested going into CAA conference play.
Yep.
They get to play for lacrosse. I know they played Notre Dame, and they got to play Stanford, and UNC obviously has met both of them each time, and once again, they're battle-tested when it comes to the conference play.
Yeah. Big day, final day of February for Elon baseball, softball, making those big headlines with the combined no-no from the guys, and then the 6-inning perfect game from the girls. That's incredible to see. I read it was like the 4th ever at Elon no-hitter, or not no-hitter, but perfect game, which is, you never see those. Yeah. And then beating NC State was pretty big. They're ranked, they're number 10. That's always real fun. Lacrosse, been a rough start, a lot of conference play, but I mean, it's only the beginning.
Yep. I think there's a lot of upside here looking into the spring semester for Elon, especially with baseball.
Yeah.
And with the softball and lacrosse teams being very battle-tested. We'll see how the season goes. That's it for the episode of Around the Acorn, and we'll see you next time.